Welcome to another episode of the Blathering Live. My face is really close tonight, apparently. That's adult eggnog. Woo! All right, it's not one of those nights, though. It's a wonderful hodgepodge Thursday main show. It's going to be a lot of fun. A little Game of Thrones. For you Game of Thrones fans, as the rewatch continues. We got some science. I didn't think we were going to have some science. We got some science, and it's a great topic. And we're going to have to get our insane clown posse references out of the way before Dr. Addie starts her lesson. I also want to highlight a little business on the Patreon page next Wednesday night, 5 p.m. in the Pacific. That's the time. I've nailed down that time. Cleared some life. We're going to watch Young Guns 2. I am. You can hang out with me. Maybe even join the show. It's going to be exclusive over on Patreon. News a little bit later. Producer Steve will be joining us. He is trapped inside a Chuck E. Cheese right now. I don't think Chuck E. Cheese is what it used to be. If you got any memories of Chuck E. Cheese, please share them tonight. No Super Chat goal tonight because it doesn't work right now. So if you want to help the show, feel free to Super Chat. Those are always appreciated. Not needed to join the conversation. You can also head on over to Direct Donations on PayPal, too. Those help as well. But again, not needed because you're all here hanging out with me. That includes, where'd he go? Where he's just a chat? Oh, Razor Crack, my buddy Joey. Don't worry, everybody. Joey's here. Alan Smith is here. Ethan's here. Brennan checking in. Laser Bolt, who's, doing pretty good in fantasy football. Addie's here. Like I said, all I remember about Chuck E. Cheese is killing it at skee-ball. Yeah, that was the draw. And then in the big animatronics, it's the history of Chuck E. Cheese is pretty fascinating. Dan Larson over at Secret Galaxy has a little mini doc on it there, one of his videos. I say mini, they're like 30 minutes. Check out Dan's work. You know we love Secret Galaxy and Dan here, former guest on the show. On the Blathering Conversations, which one of these days I'll do more of. That sounds like work. So like I said, producer Steve, more towards the bottom of the hour, we'll talk some news with Steve. I put in the thumbnail the two big things on all of our minds. Well, two things for me. It's more. Pick two of the 30. I am intrigued by the woke Pope and the Catholic Church. It was more the Catholic bishops yesterday who issued a pretty strong rebuke of America's, we'll say in quotations, immigration policies and just some of the things going on. They're not full heroes. They've also, I was looking up some stuff. They were, banning gender-affirming care in some of their churches or some of their hospitals, Catholic hospitals, which happens. I had a friend. Did not know he was part of a hospital system that was had religiously driven. He's fine with that. He just didn't know. And he went to get some work done. You know what kind of work he was getting done, boys. The old clipperoo. And they were like, "Oh, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. It's against a religious belief." So he's like, "Well, great. You're not my medical provider anymore." Just didn't know. Anyways, Catholic Church. No matter how far do you have to go for the Catholic Church to be like, "Hey, you ain't doing good. We don't approve of this." And our bishops are going to vote on it with only 5 out of like nearly 300 saying, we're good. Yeah, everyone else saying, yeah, we're going to condemn it. And I think that we got to look at the Chicago White Sox favorite fan, Pope Leo. It's interesting times. But of course, the big headline being, we've all got mail. I think it was a cave job. Schumer caved, all that stuff. We talked about that on Monday. But I was listening to some people a lot smarter than me politically who were like, it might not be, wait, no, then it did pass in Congress. Okay, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good. There was some thought that maybe it would have been actually a good play. And even those smart people came back to be like, yeah. But that's almost seems like 2 years ago because, I mean, it won't be when your premiums triple, quadruple or more. But then whatever's going on with the cavalcade of email leaks. We'll talk about that with Steve. And what that really means, I don't know. I know what we would like it to mean. I just don't think people who we want to care. We'll talk about that bottom of the hour. We got some Game of Thrones earlier tonight. We got some science tonight. Yeah, like Ethan says, we've all got mail, but how many people care at this point? Addie says those emails were faked. Yep, exactly, right? 21,000 files or whatever it was. Alan brings up a good point. As a single adult man with no kids, I'm not allowed to go to Chuck E. Cheese. I actually think there's some truth to that, right, Alan? I don't even think that's a joke. I think there's some actual rules. No kids, no go. No kids with you, no go. So can you hire kids? Because there's a Chuck E. Cheese in Burbank, but it's not one of the good ones. There's a Chuck E. Cheese in Fallbrook, California. It's not one of the good ones. I think they've gotten rid of the Chuck E. Cheeses from our day, which had entire working bands. But yes, I think you have to have kids to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Makes sense. Sean's there. That's it. Sean's here. It's like going to Disneyland by yourself. The one time I went, you all know the story now. I get stopped. They thought I had a knife because I was some other weird white dude. I'm not gonna go by myself anymore. Let's jump right to it. I want to talk a little Chuck E. Cheese memories and get into some science, and then we'll get into some Game of Thrones. And then producer Steve will show up with leftover pizza. But let's bring Dr. Addy onto the show here. Professor Addy, a resident professor of smart things. How are you doing? How's the weather over there? Because I see you very tiny on my screen in my cube, but you look very bundled for the winter, and I'm jealous.
I'm very cold, but it's in part because I am refusing to turn my thermostat very high because I don't want my heating bill to be astronomical.
This is how capitalism kills. Addy, I am right there with you. I have had a couple mornings recently where I have been cold. Franny has been cold. I've bundled her up. I can't afford to run it. It's a choice we have to make, right?
Yeah, I held off turning my heat on until this week because it was finally it was going to get into the 30s here.
I was dealing with 65, but 30. Okay, fire it up.
Quite as my grandfather would say, it's quite brisk outside.
Brisk. Yeah.
So, I usually last winter I would run it at like a 68. I'm running it at a 66 right now. But I also the front of my apartment has very high ceilings, and I'm at the top of my building, so it just it gets a little chilly in here. And I like a cozy blanket.
I do. Yeah, good cozy blanket's good. What's the science on that? Heat rises, right?
Heat rises.
So it's going to go to the top of your apartment, your larger ceiling apartment, and you're going to be suffering down below.
Yeah, and I do have I have some beautiful large windows that give me a lot of natural light during the day, but at night it's just cold glass.
Okay. Yeah, and that's cold. Like I said, I know our blood gets used to the area we're at. So I try not to do the jokes of I was like cold. It was like 65. I was like, Franny, we might die. But it was 91 4 days ago. So I get the differences. But that's not a good feeling in this modern age as our utility bills spiral out of control. That you got to choose warmth or food. It's not good.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to think that the situation is that dire. Like, I'm okay. I just
maybe I'm projecting, Eddie.
I don't want I can throw another blanket on and it's fine.
Sure.
Rather than cranking up the heat.
I am in the dire situation, but I do have blankets. So Franny and I are going to be okay. Aren't we, Franny? We are. Franny's a little mad at me today, everybody. We had to go to the vet. Used my last open credit card for that fun. Thanks, vet bills. But we had to go to the vet today. She's a little upset at me because I dropped her off at the enemy. Well, I hope you stay warm, Maddie.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm snuggled in for the night is also a little bit of what it is. Like I've got my Elfie bear. I'm good to go.
I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat that last part.
Elfie bear.
Elfie bear. Oh, I see. Oh, it's an Elfie bear. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Can we bring that up? Can I bring you up on camera for like 2 seconds? Come on. Look at this. Everybody, look at Dr. Addy and Elfie Bear. Look at that wry smile on Elfie Bear. What the hell is Elfie Bear up to? These are wicked bears. Oh, I see. That's Gwyneth Bear or Glenda Bear?
It's Glenda Bear.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
A little wand.
I guess we can't provide the update.
A little broom.
That would. Now I get the bear smile. We can't provide the update after Saturday's drunken fest. I apologize to the Buzzball Fest that was Saturday night. It'll happen again, I guarantee it. I did decide, Addie, this is how I watch movies. Fuck it, let's put on Wicked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, let's put on Wicked. I will say it's. I'm gonna finish it. I didn't finish it. I didn't come back to it. I stopped halfway through and restarted John Adams. But I would say maybe not for me. But I got to complete it. I'm getting over the finish line. I didn't have a lot of problems with the. I actually am fascinated with the lore. Like I said, going into it, I'm pretty interested with the lore. Pretty. I like where it picked up. The movie starts with you're like already like, all right, who's the actual bad guy? I can get behind that. I did realize, Addie, why maybe musicals and I don't jive. Too many people singing while smiling. I think I hit my problem.
Well, in part 2, I think there will be less smiling.
Okay, that's good.
Part 2 is dark. Part 2 is dark. I am interested to see how they pull it off. I'm also interested for you to finish it because I think there are parallels with The Wizard and things that are happening right now. And like there, I don't want to say more, but no, I really enjoyed your drunken.
Yeah,
we were watching The Lord of the Rings over on Blathering Gaming, and everybody's like, Ken's watching Wicked. So I've got Lord of the Rings playing on my TV, Discord on my phone, watching you watch Wicked, hanging out on StreamYard with Jared and Steve. Like it was just it was an inception of nights.
This right now is the greatest commercial for joining the Patreon page and getting into the Discord because, I was getting pretty nasty. I had some things to say about Ariana Grande's then boyfriend in the cast. I realized I was maybe pushing the boundaries of good taste. But yeah, no, we'll complete the question. Now Tully asks a fair question. It says, Ken, are you whimsyless? I'm not. In fact, I have actually gotten into this argument with an old friend of mine, my old roommate, who I was like, you have no whimsy. Meaning he doesn't like anything Lord of the Rings. He would make fun of Game of Thrones. Star Wars was nerd stuff, even though he was obsessed with The Simpsons and had like an entire part of our house was designed to look like The Simpsons. Like it was a thing. And I would always say, you have no whimsy. So I have whimsy. I'll have to say, I wish I had the talent to sing. And I feel if I could sing, I'd be a great lead singer in a rock band. And I just don't think if you have the skill of singing, you should smile while doing it. I don't think singing should have happy. It should be sad. You should be sad.
Now,
singing should be sad.
Ken, can I ask where you got to?
Mm-hmm. They had just seen. They were at school. Bowen Yang was being Bowen Yang. He was doing his thing. And then one of the characters found a big stone granite face of Jeffrey Goldblum. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's the last thing I remember.
Okay. So, you barely got into it. Oh, you are in for a treat.
All right.
Yeah, I think that implies you made it through The Wizard and I
don't remember the songs. I'll be honest. And I'm not even saying they're all talented people, by the way. They're all. I wish I had their talent.
Did she run to the edge of a cliff?
Yeah, there seemed. Yeah, I think I remember a cliff.
Have you met Peter Dinklage yet?
No, I don't think I've met Peter Dinklage yet, and I don't want to meet him in real life too. He's kind of an asshole.
Well, he's in this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to finish. Don't worry. I'm going to finish the film, Addie. I'm going to finish the film. All right. And Ethan raises a fair question. Says it's a hell of a take. Singing should be said always. Yes, it should. It should be serious. Singing should be melodramatic, sad, and soul-searching. In fact, I had this argument off air with a friend, Mr. Ken Plume. I don't like bands like They Might Be Giants. Like, I don't like it. It's like you have all that talent and they're talented and you waste it on little fun songs. Like, it should be about breakups. It should be about the depths of your soul. You should have a knife to your throat when you write a song. And that's just what I go for. And then I got this film, Addie, where everyone's smiling.
So
Bowen Yang's smiling.
What I'm hearing is if Ken liked musicals, Ken's favorite musical would be Les Miserables.
Yeah. But just eat the bread. Just steal the bread. That's all I need. That's all I need. Okay.
Yeah.
Alan says novelty bands are great. They're not. They're not great. They're not great. I can't. You got all that talent. Now, Weird Al's different, Addie. Weird Al is different. It's a different thing altogether. That's why I don't like praise music. Everyone's too happy. Ethan says, bullshit. Singing be that and should be that. But you can be happy too. No, you can't be happy as an artist. I don't trust happy artists.
So we've got Ken, who only wants people to be sad when they're singing. And then we have producer Steve, who gets sad when people sing.
I don't know who broke Steve. You're all asking who broke me. Look, I have the Moon Agers released less than 8 songs, 9 songs. 5 of them are about me trying to take my own life. Okay, like that's where I go. I can't answer for Steve, but I just don't want to sing while smiling.
The Beatles had their happy era.
Yeah, it's the less good era, right? It's the less. Now I should have known better. That's sad. That's got some longing to it. Laserbolt says, "Oh my god, that eggnog looks good. It's all over my beard, and I don't have a napkin." All right, Addie. Let's get to it here because I don't want to leave Jared hanging too. We are doing some science tonight. I'm excited about this. Now I ask you are. Yeah, I ask honestly without condescension, but with whimsy to prove Tully wrong. You're aware of the Insane Clown Posse Magnets meme, right?
No.
Okay, it was an honest question because it's fresh enough in my mind, but it's also part of the old internet, and it could have just been under the radar screen. Yeah, how do I explain it? See, you know the performance group, Insane Clown Posse, right?
No.
I don't. Okay, you've never heard of Juggalos?
No.
Anyone in chat? They are a rap-ish group, but they're kind of a cult. And they used to be
my favorite thing.
Yeah, they used to be, and the 2 or 3 lead guys have face paint on. And at one point they were involved in pro wrestling. Shocker. Their music was, shall we say, problematic and questionable. Their fans, the Juggalos, problematic and questionable. And then they changed and they got happy, Ethan. They got happy. And I think they found God. God bless them. No problem with that. And then they wrote this song about kind of like being happy and the miracles of the world. And at one point, like one of the guys, like the lead singer in the video is like, magnets, how do they work? And like, it just became a meme of that time. and then since then, the Juggalos and ICP, I'm not vouching for all of them, but they actually, during the past couple political cycles, election cycles, have been more progressive and welcoming and on the right side of history, which is one of the greatest face turns in the history of pop culture. It's amazing.
Okay. So this is not from that.
But when you sent me this art, I'm gonna bring it up. We love your lessons, so I want that's why I was like, I'm not gonna assume you know, I'm not gonna assume you don't know. But you were like, how do magnets work? I was like, oh God, this is great. She's doing the ICP meme. But no, we're gonna actually learn how magnets work, which by the way, I don't really know. And that song had a lot of meaning to me because it was asking a question I didn't know. But anyways, all right, I just wanted to get that out of the way. All right. I just want to get out of the way. Look at when you were done, Addie. Promise me when we're done here, you go look up ICP, how do magnets work.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't think she seems convinced, chat. I don't think she seems. All right, Addie, take me away. We got a lesson. Here I am, the drunk guy at the end of the bar. A scientist has walked into the bar, and I have asked the question, how do magnets work?
Right. So our question not only comes from you, it also came from producer Steve tonight, who asked on behalf of someone much more powerful than him who lives in a very white house.
I did
How
see
do
that.
magnets work?
He needs to watch the ICP video. Yeah.
So, as has been the case for I think 3 of our other lessons now, the answer is electrons.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up yeah. Are electrons, are they like...
Kind of important?
They're kind of the thing, right?
They're
They're
kind
of the thing we need. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, as we might remember from last week or from previous lessons,
We do.
Electrons are negatively charged subatomic particles. They orbit around the nucleus of an atom. The nucleus of an atom contains protons and neutrons. Protons have positive charge. Neutrons have no charge. And electrons are what are involved in processes like bonding, like reactions, all of that. A lot of things depend on electrons, and magnetic fields are no different. So electrons like to occur in pairs, and when they occur in pairs, they spin in opposite directions from each other, because since they're both negatively charged, they don't want to actually be near each other. Negative charges repel. So they'll bounce away from each other if they get too close. So they spin in
Sorry, drunk guy question. Are there any like single electrons that just like to listen to sad music alone?
We actually call unpaired electrons in chemicals free radicals.
I love that name. It's great. Yeah, it's not the new radicals. Great band.
And they're highly reactive.
Okay.
Very volatile.
I like that. That they're single, but they're not ready to mingle, and they're on the edge. This is great.
Yep.
I love this.
Yep.
Love this. Okay. Carry on.
So when they spin in opposite directions when they're paired. And so the spin of an electron actually creates that magnetic field, like what is on the left side of your screen of going from north to south on a magnet.
That I get.
But if they're spinning in opposite directions, those fields cancel each other out. Because you can think of it as like pulling on a like a tug of war rope. If you're pulling equal and opposite directions, the rope doesn't go anywhere, right? So
I'm acting like I know, but yes, I know.
If you have unpaired electrons, you're only spinning in one direction, and that is how you get a magnetic field. So metals like iron, which has the electron arrows that I have shown on the screen there on the right side of your screen, iron has 4 unpaired electrons. Anything that has unpaired electrons, scientists refer to as being paramagnetic.
Paramagnetic.
If they have all paired electrons, we call it diamagnetic.
Fair. Okay. I'm following you.
If a metal is paramagnetic, like iron, a lot of early magnets were iron based in their composition. Any metal that has unpaired electrons will be magnetic because it will have electrons that are spinning without anything to cancel it out. So you'll wind up with a north pole and a south pole on the piece of metal. This is why magnets don't stick to all metals. Aluminum, for example, all of aluminum's electrons are paired up. You can't stick magnets to aluminum because it's not a magnetic metal.
It's like being a single dude at a wedding where everyone's taken.
Yes.
Okay. Or single person. I'm just first person in this story. Okay.
Yeah. So magnets work because of unpaired electrons, Ken.
Now, how come I'm gonna clean my face and bring myself back up. Addie, I'm asking this seriously. A drunk guy at the end of the bar question. How come we don't have magnetic roads and our cars float? is this possible?
I mean, we have maglev trains.
Right? So why can't I get
On
into
a
a
rail.
Nissan? Yeah, why can't I get into a Nissan Sentra and just fly down the road, listening to They Might Be Giants on my cassette deck and then throwing the tape out the window? Why can't I do that?
I'm gonna
Who's
guess
holding down the magnetic car?
I'm gonna guess cost.
Okay.
But I will say magnets have become quite ubiquitous. Right now, the computer that you and I are using to talk to each other, run by magnets.
The Tandy 3000?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ethan brings up a good point. Can you imagine how many more wrecks there would be if we were flying? I agree with that. I don't want the flying car. Maybe I don't want the magnetic car. What? When did we? I might be asking too much too fast. When did magnets show up on the scene? Like for real?
I think the magnets have been around for a while. The understanding of how a magnet is a little bit harder. The earliest documentation of magnets comes from ancient China, possibly as early as 2500 BC.
Wow.
They were first made by the mineral lodestone, which is what they called it. And magnets have been around for a while because magnets are how we have compasses.
Right. This I know. That's fascinating. Could you imagine if you were kind of the first person that is walking around going, "Hey, look at this," to everyone else around you? And as science rolls on and we learn more about it, it makes sense. But at the time, you're probably thinking that person is a wizard, right? Like you're probably like, it's got to be out of an out of body.
Probably was burned at the stake.
Yes, especially if it was a woman, right?
Yeah.
Can't have no smart women around here.
One of my favorite stories, this is a completely unrelated to magnet story, Ken, but one of my favorite science stories has to do with the invention of the device we use to measure barometric pressure, like what the pressure is outside for the weather. We use a device that measures mercury, and you've probably heard of like the mercury index.
Yep.
When it comes to weather. We measure the height of mercury in a tube, and that gives us the barometric pressure because science. The guy who invented that could have done it with water, but the barometer would have had to be taller than his house. So he would have had to build it in his backyard, and his neighbors already thought that he was a witch because he was a scientist.
Or like
so
a warlock,
he made it with
or a
mercury because it would only be about a foot tall and it could live inside his house.
I like that. Okay. 898 for him. The guy who discovered the magnet became Emperor Yu, the engineer. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, Brady, don't do that to me. Okay. I'm gullible. This is valuable. I love that we now know magnets have a connection to single people at weddings. And more than just Insane Clown Posse. Producer Steve's on the show, and Producer Steve, since you requested this, I want to make sure, have you learned enough in the time that you've been here for the magnet lesson?
I just got here in time for some. I don't know anything about magnets being involved with single people. That's interesting to me. Are we sure we're not divulging like national security secrets? Because the president made it seem like no one knew anything about this stuff. So like, did we sign forms or anything? Like, is there waivers? Yeah. Like, is this okay?
There's emails.
I would like to point out that part of tonight's lesson came from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, which is a government agency.
There we go.
So yes.
There we go. So yes.
They have a .gov website.
Not for long. Not for long. Addie, final thoughts on this lesson here. This has been fantastic. I really actually enjoy these things. I love the scientist and dumb guy at a bar dynamic. I think we got something. We might need to take the sect on the road.
Happy to do it, Ken. As I mentioned earlier to you, this is our last science for the month of November.
That's right.
Next week I have to go see Wicked.
That's right. Wicked 2.
And the following week is Turkey Day. So,
Oh man, what am I gonna do that week? I guess I'll have a show on Wednesday. I can't not broadcast. Okay, good question.
Sorry, didn't mean to make you. I'll have family in town, so I can't.
Yeah, most of you probably. It's just gonna be if I broadcast it on Thursday night, it'd just be me and Laserbolt. Let's be honest. Maybe Kingsport.
So, but all right. Again, if you've got questions, join the Patreon. Post them in the Discord. We got some good ones coming up that were asked last week. Keep them coming, and I'll keep
absolutely. Absolutely. Science will always be a part of the show because, science is treated so bad outside of the walls of the show. So we appreciate you, Dr. Addy. Thank you so much for being our resident professor of smart things.
Of course, Ken. Go Jets.
Go what? All right. Congratulations on your fantasy win last week. Absolutely destroyed me by half.
I felt so bad.
It's so bad. All right. Thank you, Dr. Addy. Producer Steve here. I'm going to do some Game of Thrones shortly here. Tully says, I would watch on a Turkey Day stream. All right. Stuffing and blathering. Dave Mackay points out no Turkey Day in the UK. That's right.
Grateful.
I forgot that we're in the United States and there's other countries sometimes. I'm always confused when they're like, it's Canadian Thanksgiving Day. Well, you got it wrong. It's on the wrong day. It's Thursday, November. What are you doing? How you doing, buddy? How was Chuck E. Cheese? We were talking about at the top of the show. I told everyone where you were. I gave an address. Was it Chuck E. Cheese does not exist as it used to, right?
Oh, it's a soulless, corporatized, capitalistic hellhole. The only thing there that made me smile was the clearly stoned high school kid that was like being Chuck E. Cheese in the mat, like in the costume, because everything else is sanitized. It's just arcade games, like little. They don't have a place thing anymore. It's just like a couple of trampoline things that are like the little shitty exercise trampolines, and then there's like a skee ball.
Wait a minute,
it, man.
Are they putting like 5-year-olds on trampolines? What's going on?
I put my 2-year-old on a trampoline, but yes.
And walked away, or is there like things I can hold?
I stood outside the net thing, but it's just like it was like 4 square. It looked like a slam ball court almost. You know what I mean? Remember that from the late 90s? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Okay. How was the pizza? Horrible?
Oh, awful. Yeah, it was terrible.
Cardboard with some sauce.
Sucker for but I'm a sucker for pitcher draft soda. It's always good. Soda just tastes good out of a plastic pitcher with a bunch of like ice that never gets cleaned. It does taste good.
Everyone knows the science. That's one of, maybe we won't put Addy on the spot, but the science of liquids, drinks, in different kind of things. Because I heard once at a wedding reception dinner, a wine sommelier explained it to me and my friend Joe. We didn't give a shit, but he was explaining that, and I was like, yeah, the wine. You're right. It does taste different. I'm gonna go have a beer, but I love the sides of it.
I could go on that for days. But yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, no more animatronic band. They're just on a projector, and no more ball pit either.
Oh my
ball
God,
pit's gone. COVID killed the ball pit. Apparently.
Yeah, but that's probably wise. That's probably what a functional society should do with its ball pits. Giggity. Yeah. And the big question is, did you play skee ball before we get to game?
I did not. I was on walking my 2-year-old duty around the whole place. I let my wife kind of enjoy things a little bit more.
And the recent newborn was in the car, bouncing on the trampoline.
Yeah, we traded off on that front, in the stroller for the most part. But yeah, it was for a family member. Our daughter was a little small to be there compared to all the other kids, but we were there for a family member. So just being a good teammate.
For you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was gonna pay you respects. Like you showed up. You got the check by the box. You put a deposit in the friend bank. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I made an appearance. You do the thing you can as the in-law sometimes. Happy birthday to my niece. I wouldn't. It's the first time I've been to a Chuck E. Cheese in 28 years, probably, Ken.
Yeah, I haven't been since the 80s.
Yeah,
I haven't been since the 80s. Big City 2000s is Sprite in a pitcher's glass. So absolutely. Absolutely. Osvetic does ask a great question. Did you Irish goodbye from the Chuck E. Cheese family event?
Oh no, you can't. No. I'd get in legitimate trouble for that. You gotta.
By Chuck E. Cheese or the family?
I don't want the mouse knocking on my door. That's not the mouse I want knocking on my door.
Are you trying to leave your family early, sir? That doesn't happen at Chuck E. Cheese. That does not happen. at Chuck E. Cheese. All right, we'll check you in a minute or two on news. We got the Catholic bishops, Pope Leo. We've got some emails floating around. We're not going to dive too deep, but Steve will talk about it in a second. But I'm going to bring in Jared. He's the TIE pilot around these parts, and of course, we're going to do a little bit of Game of Thrones. Because I am doing this Game of Thrones rewatch, and I'm determined to get to the finish line. But it's been a lot of fun to rewatch the show. But first of all, Jared, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, and we have been doing good. We started episode 8 of season 4 with this, and now we're into season 7. So, we're getting you through it.
We're getting through it. And it's been I'm crunching on ice. Wow, unprofessional. Yeah, it's been fun. We'll dive into it in a second, but. I love the show. I love the series, and it was so much of my world for so long. And after the battles of season 8 and just kind of the dip in the fandom and just kind of me kind of withdrawn from it all, I had less fun talking about Game of Thrones over the years, but it's been fun to just revisit it and not do copious notes, but just kind of sit and let it wash over me and find the themes that are in these episodes and relive some of them. So without further ado, because we got a packed show tonight, as he likes to do, Jared calls in with a question about Game of Thrones related to an episode in our rewatch. We're up to season 7. Episode 2, I for some reason tonight thought we were doing 3, but 2, take us away.
Yeah, no, don't you get ahead of us. Episode 2 of season 7, it's Stormborn. We got it written by Cogman, directed by Mark Millar. And this is a fun little episode, I feel like. Upon rewatch, I was like, ooh, a lot happens in this. If the episode 1 of the season is putting pieces on the board, this episode 2 really positioned them for an attack, and sets up the season. A couple of strong notes in it was Arya seeing Hot Pie again, Theon getting triggered by all the violence and going yeet to himself. But one of my favorite scenes and things that I loved about this, which I think gives us a good theme, was Dany confronting Varys on his shifting allegiances throughout the show. And him basically explaining his allegiance has always been the same and is that of the people. And it's just that I feel is the message that she loses, the theme that she gets lost. You're trying to break this wheel for the people. And it stops being about that eventually.
Yeah, I blame the people in a lot of ways for my Dany. But yeah, that is a great big episode. And the entire theme running through everything here. And it ends with, the Greyjoy on Greyjoy action and all that stuff going on. And also some Dorne on Greyjoy action there. With Indira Varma and everything down there going on in the bottom of the ship. You know what I'm talking about. I'm distracting myself with that. But this entire episode is about let me start. Last week we had kind of what does everyone really want, which kind of makes us think now on rewatch of what does everyone really get. And this episode is, to me, that starts with this Varys episode. It is who are you really? Like who is actually beneath the outside, the goals, the actions, and we have that scene with Dany and Varys, which is this tremendously tense scene, and then you have everyone, Ilaria Sand fighting, you have Yara Greyjoy fighting, you have the Queen of Thorns there, and then she kind of ends that whole kind of sequence with I think is a famous line, which is you're a dragon, be a dragon, and everything in this episode is about who are you actually. We know who you're trying to be, but who are you? And then you go to some of my favorite stuff with Arya, who is going to go down to, we have the whole scene with Ed Sheeran. It's that last episode this week. I can't remember.
And I love that scene.
I by the way, the producers of Benioff and Weiss are big music fans. They're big music fans. I don't know if they like happy songs or not, reference to an earlier part of the show. But all through the show, musicians are making cameos of Monsters and Men are in season 6. Got other bands, the ones at the Red Wedding, like they're all through the show. So they bring in old Ed because Maisie Williams is a fan. It was like a great gift for her, and the dude got so like crapped on, like he left social media and like he's got money, he's doing okay. But that was one of the points, Jared, where I started getting upset with the Game of Thrones fandom. Where I was just like, and it was a precursor. It was the canary in the coal mines for season 8, where I'm just like, lay off it, man. Like, like one of the leads, there was a gift, and he didn't distract. He said, like, oh God. Anyways, but this is all set up. Yeah, go ahead.
He was literally just sitting there, just strumming a little, like, you know.
So we said, like, God, I'm not even like a huge fan of his music. Just like, calm down. I need to calm down. But anyways, the Arya stuff is so much about this big theme because we know who she thinks she is, and we know that she's gone through all these lessons. And I don't think it even takes me back to the House of Black and White, where it's like, you know, part of her lessons with Jaqen H'ghar. I think in the end, for me, I always interpret it as, don't lose who you are. You got to learn all these skills, and I've got a certain way, but don't lose who you are. And I think of her getting back Needle and her kind of that final arc ending in here, and like, going down to kill the king, and then finding Nymeria. And powerful scene. I love that scene. It'd be so hard to do, but that's not you. Just like that wasn't her, what she said to her father years earlier. And even Hot Pie. You got Ben Hockey showing back up as Hot Pie. I love his stuff. He's so sweet. And just kind of, he knows who she is, even though he, you know, oh, Harry, I thought, yeah, you're pretty, like all that stuff that's kind of fun. But he was connected with that version of her. And I think just this reminder of like, what your brother's in charge up there. Why won't you go be you is how I took it. It's one of my favorite stuff.
Oh,
some
no,
of my favorite stuff.
Definitely. Just, you know, between Hot Pie and Nymeria, it really sunk in with her. It's like, you left the Faceless Men because you are Arya of Winterfell. Go back to bloody Winterfell, you crazy loon.
Yeah, this isn't your fight. So there's that, and then you know, we got the stuff with Euron and Laria and Tyene, and we know that we get a horrible death come with them. But I just you know, it even then with stuff with Theon, it is all about who you really are, and he is not sure of who he is right now, which is why he makes some decisions he makes there.
He does, and it's one of those awful decisions that you can't overly blame him for, but you're still upset with him in it. And Euron, just that psychotic face and laugh that he gives when he jumps overboard is just absolutely insane. What's his name? Pilo. I can't even pronounce his last name.
Oh yeah, I'm too American to even try. Let's he's great. No, and I actually love that moment. It's season 7, as I said before, isn't my favorite of the seasons, but I love a lot of the execution of some of the ideas. But that was one of the things where, like, I equated it to Corporal Upham in Saving Private Ryan, and going back to the reaction, not necessarily the character. He in Saving Private Ryan back in '98, he you know, he's kind of, he has some moments where some people might call him a coward, but I think it's like, how would you react in that situation? How would you actually be? And I was surrounded by a lot of friends at the time on my old job who kind of were like, you know, what a little wimp, and he's such a coward, and he runs away. And it's like, what would you do on the stairwell in World War II with a Nazi soldier fighting your fellow soldier to a death? Like, I would hope, maybe you get into but like, you don't know what psychotic break might be around the corner from you. And I think that's what's going on with Theon, where there was a lot of, again, some parts of the fandom were just like mad at him. And I'm like, that's kind of the point. I thought it was a great moment, especially on rewatch. And it's, Euron is not a character that I think was perfectly executed over the course of the show. Almost as if they came too late, they didn't know what to do complete. I would agree with that. But I also think it's a great performance at times, and it's over the top. And this is one of my favorite moments. It's effective.
Oh yeah, no, the performance is always there. That's one of the strengths of this show, even if the writing isn't really getting the character the way us book nerds would have wanted it, because Euron is very different from, as a lot of characters are, from book to screen.
Yeah, it's also a collection of brothers, perhaps, and you know, other things going on.
But it's just the acting; it sells it every time. It's one of those great castings where it's just like, you can have the man read the grocery list, and it's going to come out twisted as hell.
Twisted as hell, indeed. Some of my other favorite moments in this episode, I do love Jim Broadbent. I love him in anything, including one of my favorite Jim Broadbent performances is in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, in terms of just an understated kind of support role. But I love him as Archmaester Ebros, and I love talking about, you know, an episode that is about who are you and who are you really. you got Sam showing his true colors and the connection to Jorah and House Mormont and the name and Jeor Mormont. And as a Mormont fan of all the Mormonts,
I was gonna say we couldn't leave your boy out,
and Leanna as well. Like I just absolutely love this, and it also has one of the greatest, if not most disgusting things ever, which is the removal of the grayscale into the pot pie being broken at the end of the crossroads. And I watched it while having dinner the other day, and I had a little bit of the.
Yep.
I had to move on.
Yep. The editor of this episode was Tim Porter. We'll shout out his quite sense of humor for that one.
It was, and you mentioned Mark Malloy, the director. And as a Jorah fan, it's so I don't have mixed feelings on Jorah getting healed so quickly. I like how it goes down. I think it's valuable for the theme of this episode. I do agree because for the most part, for I guess book spoilers, him getting grayscale is more of the John Connington story from the books, the young Griff, old Griff stuff. And I was so intrigued. That's still one of my favorite things that I'm just waiting for George to tell his version of and tell his tale about. I do like that it transferred to Jorah. It gave us some big moments, but I think he gets removed in a great dramatic way, in a heartbreaking way, and then he gets back on the board in a cool way, but then he heals up almost too quick for me, but I don't want to sound like I'm taking away from this moment, if that makes sense.
No. The moment's perfect. I just wish it was later in the show because, it's this, like you said, this big dramatic, you're not, I'm not dismissing you. I am ordering you to cure yourself. That should have been a great journey of its all. And I think it is one of those, and, as you do, I defend the show season 7 and 8 and all, love it all, but it is one of those, like, I wish we had those 3 extra episodes this season and the 4 next season to really let that kind of drama play out. Like seeing him on the road sick and trying not to infect people.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Again, it's like sometimes I don't know what else I would have wanted. Like I'm not one of those people who had a problem with John and Davos traveling quick to Dragonstone. Like I don't have too much of a problem with that. And there's some stuff later on. How long does it take to run back to the wall? I don't know. I don't get caught up in that as much as others. I understand some of the criticism, but I just don't think it's as important as the story and the themes. Love that. And a Jeor Mormont's one of my favorite characters, and I just to call back to the Samwell Tarly, I forbid you to die, and you're not going to die today moment with yours. I think one of my favorite things. So I think a great episode in terms of themes, and it's starting to get. This has been the fun journey with me on season 7. I think season 7 up to like episode 4 is a home run. I think the last 3 kind of speed up in a way that do cost it a little bit, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We got some big episodes coming up.
Oh yeah, no. Next week we got the Queen's Justice coming in, and we got some juicy things right there from Cersei coming in.
It is indeed. So we'll roll on to the Queen's Justice, but right now that's a look back at season 7, episode 2. Thank you, Jared.
Always, you guys stay safe. Before you get me off, though, one quick thing on the beverage question that we're going on in different containers. Anything tastes better from a can, in my opinion. Sodas, beers, ciders. If you're cracking open a can, it's going to taste absolutely incredible.
Wait, hold on. Let me bring in producer Steve. Do you agree with this assessment? Where do you go with this, Steve?
Cracking open a can and the best. The coming out of a gun or a tap is the best way to drink anything, in my opinion. So
gun or a tap?
If it's soda, the gun. If it's beer, it's a tap. I just like draft in general. Can, honestly, like I'm a can last kind of guy. I pour my beer into a glass.
Wow.
Unless I'm like portable, I don't really drink out of a can.
We got a couple votes for glass bottle, Addie and Ethan. Kingsport Cow says beer tastes better from a can. Not shocked at that at all, to be honest.
The thing with
it's easier to drink them in a bag in a car.
I'll submit to some of his point where out of like a nozzle or the fountain drink that can taste better, but that is all dependent on the restaurant's syrup to carbonated water mixture ratio.
I agree with that.
The can is more consistent, and a can is just a nice cold container for that beverage.
Look, there's nothing greater, and I'm even putting this above sex and a sandwich from Subway restaurants. There's nothing greater than that first initial crack of the can. You do the math, Steve. And the first couple sips. I just had a Diet Coke with lime today. I had bought some a couple weeks ago for drinks, and I was like, had a dinner, I have a Diet Coke. I try not to have soda at the house, but I had it. And there's nothing greater than the crack, the first couple sips, and then about halfway through, it's just too warm, and I don't want to shove ice in there, and that's where glass or bottle, you can maintain it differently out of a can. But I don't mind. You hand me a can, Jared. I'm not going to ask for a cup. You know,
Steve,
give me a draft Sprite any day of the week. That's the most refreshing drink in bubbledom of all the carbonated drinks. The fresh gunned Sprite with a shit ton of ice. I don't care if it's watered down. I'm at a place where I get free refills. Just blowing me up, baby. So, good.
Look, I think we know where we're heading for a blather bracket. the bubbledom blather bracket of sodas. Not how to drink them, but just sodas in general might be.
Well, that'll be a tough one because I agree with Steve that Sprite is the most refreshing, but Mountain Dew is the favorite, is the best tasting.
Mountain Dew's a good one.
Mountain Dew. But Mountain Dew used to be my favorite. Cactus Cooler, great breakfast soda, but it's Mountain Dew after a couple, it starts to burn my throat. It just does something to me.
We're getting old.
That's all the enamel from your teeth getting into your throat, probably, or just everything coming off of your teeth going into your throat. What is this breakfast soda you're talking about? I have a hard and fast rule: no carbonated drinks before noon. Period.
I'm going to say something. I'm not going to fight you on that. I think you're right. I think it's a little weird, right? Unless you wake up at 6 a.m. and it's like 11 and you're having lunch, which used to be my old job.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
But in theory, I wouldn't fight you on that. What happened is I worked graveyards, and there was a Coke machine in the basement break room that no one went to, but it was this was 1999, 25-cent sodas, and Cactus Cooler at 6:30 in the morning is delightful. It's a breakfast soda. It can go with an omelet if you needed to.
Okay.
And I think Cactus Cooler might be regional. It might be. It's not super regional, but it's not known as.
I was gonna say that one doesn't ring a bell. But come on, you're gonna put down the breakfast soda, Steve. You look like a man who's enjoyed 1 or 2 breakfast beers in your day.
Whoa, that's not a soda though. Like beer is that's a drink of the earth, my friend. That is it's different. Everyone knows. Again, tailgates exist in a black hole of time and space, and so these rules do not apply. Okay, so if it's 10 a.m. and I'm at Lincoln Financial Field, I will be 4 beers deep plus by 10:30. That's fine because I've also had a hot Italian sausage and a Philly cheese.
Yeah, you have.
Since.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. All right, this is not going to be formatted correctly, but this is what a Cactus Cooler can looks like. That is breakfast. That's a breakfast soda, right?
Orange pineapple. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a combo.
Delightful. It is so delightful. It's absolutely one of my favorite sodas. Absolutely one of my favorite sodas. Okay. Addie says that's a mimosa. She's not wrong.
Yeah,
Abernathy says we call them Cokes, not soda pop. Incorrect. Soda is the right word. You Midwestern poppers.
Yeah, no.
I've had a problem with you for decades.
This isn't Fallout. It's not pop.
Is just what people in their 30s and over call day drinking for their 20s. Like in your 20s, it's called day drinking, right?
Right.
Or if you're in college, and once you're in your 30s, it's just called brunch, bottomless mimosas. And so
not a fan of brunch.
And then in your 40s, you just don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And calling them Cokes is a very Southern thing, right? That's part of the Lost Cause mythology, is you have to call them Cokes.
The thing is, it's not that they just have to say, they say Cokes, but then the waitress has to go, what flavor? A Coke.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Right.
I'd like one Coke. What kind of Coke? Give me a Diet Pepsi. It's a soda.
If you live south of North Carolina,
yeah,
and someone says Coke in that manner, like they're like the Venn diagram between that and them having questionable like views on Southern heritage or secession is just It's wider than we want it to be. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And Laserbolt saying we say pop up here in Michigan. Yeah. And what wars are you going to win with that?
I'm sorry.
That's
weird.
Actually, my last beverage question before I take up the rest of the time, because I've got one of my medicine, my polycule does this, and for the life of me, none of us can figure it out. Has to be a glass bottle of Coke and then peanuts going into the Coke.
Get the what?
Yeah, he puts peanuts in the Coke. And from a glass. Yeah, peanuts, like cocktail peanuts, into the Coke as he drinks it and eats the peanuts.
But yeah, with your Boston accent, though, you make the U an I, so I'm just making sure we're all on the same page here. That's all. Sorry.
Nuts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to put a penis in a Coke, that's...
Well, that too.
Everything works. I mean, look, I'm not going to judge because we're getting close to frothy peppernog season, and I might do one on the show. This is from my friend Matt Key. His dad created this drink where you mix Dr. Pepper and eggnog, and it's delightful. And then I named it about 15 years ago Frothy Peppernog, and it's delightful. It'll put you to sleep. So I am down with weird things. I don't know about peanuts in a Coke. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know. If he gets a glass bottle of Coke from the store, he'll get some peanuts and dip them in there.
Laserbolt, who spent many decades as a bartender, says I've seen peanuts and Coke before. I really think I want to start. I'm gonna put Laserbolt on the spot, producer Steve and Jared. I want, and it doesn't have to be live. I would love if Laserbolt went out to like one of his fancy locations and with a camera and some mood lighting by a fire pit or something, just told some short, funny, weird bartender stories. Bartending with Laserbolt would be a hit segment. And you can do it on your own channel, Laserbolt. Get the hits.
Exactly.
We'd feature it here. We'd
do it. And also, McCarcel, you are not one to tell anybody to enunciate. Talk to you guys.
he's got Cajun in him, you know. All right, Jared. Thank you for starting another debate here on the channel.
Always love it.
I want to, Steve, I always want to talk about important things. I want to talk about emails. I want to talk about Pope Leo and the Catholic bishops. But then, I get most passionate about people calling soda Coke. It's just the way of life. Just the way.
Yeah. So soda, Coke, pop. I call my grandfather Pop. So like pop is just, it's soda. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
And it's one of those things.
With you.
I get it. My old roommate, also he's from Ohio, born in Pittsburgh, raised in Ohio. He knew no other way than pop. This isn't a reason to start civil war. It's fascinating. It never ceases to amaze me, the regional things that we have in this very large country. And that's why, to rant shift, Steve, when some Europeans, as they have to my face in the past, have said, oh, you Americans, you just don't travel much. Motherfuckers, our country is 32 times bigger than your little boop. Okay, your little boop, you get in your little Fiat on the wrong side of the road and you're 3 countries over in an afternoon. All right, Michigan's another world. They call things pop. Come on, but it's soda. All right,
I can drive 2 hours in my own state and be in a whole other world from DC to Southwest Virginia. Dear God, that's like going 200 years back in time and geographically to a different place.
Go to Williamsburg. Go to Colonial Williamsburg. But it's true. Over the East Coast, a little different. I'm a little fascinated with that, too. Like the fact that the New York Jets and New York Giants play in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. I'm like, what? That's what do you, that's like the Dodgers playing in Arizona. Like that's impossible. That's impossible.
Well, I mean, where are you going to put a football stadium in New York City?
That's true.
I don't, it would be great. Make them play in the Garden. Let's figure that out. Come on, it's 2025. We can turn Madison Square Garden into. If we can do football, if we can do hockey and basketball in the same arena on the same day, come on, let's figure it out.
Expanded by 50,000 seats. Steve, where do you want to go? We got some sports to talk about. We got Major League Baseball players have been caught rigging games. Seems big, seems important. That stuff too, but also the news headlines here. My big thing about the emails is it's fascinating, but of course, let's not forget to caveat victims, real, actual victims involved, which makes all of this even sadder and more tragic and darker. But it's hard to deny that it's unfolding in rapid time with us. And I don't know where this goes, but I think, Steve, my big thing is, at the end of the day today, it doesn't change the minds of the people I need the minds to be changed of. I'm not seeing evidence of that in my own life. Are you at all? What conversations you've having? How are you dealing with it?
I am so glad I'm doing Thanksgiving at home this year, and I don't think I'm hosting a whole lot of people that are that I'm going to have these kinds of discussions with, let's say. But I'm not necessarily seeing a whole lot of change for me. I'm just seeing a lot of hoops jumped through. Dear God, nope. I don't go look up what Megyn Kelly had to say, because that kind of just grossed me out. Yeah, it's just like I share the same kind of like apathy from the idea that like what is really going to happen kind of a thing. Like, yeah, it's great that it's in the news cycle and everything and keep pressure on and blah, 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 blah. But like, if we've learned anything about the last 10 years from this administration, it's that consequences don't really matter. We've thrown out rule of law. They just don't listen to court orders anymore, stuff like that. So, I don't know, man. Like, I want to see like if let's see actual change. If anyone in Congress or the Senate that's on the Republican side, if these things actually get voted on in ways that take action, then okay, I will. I'll give a golf clap. But until then, yeah, I'm just really sad. Like, it's just really fucking sad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Like I said, there's some energy of me of like with each reveal going like, "Ooh, it's getting good," and then you realize what this is all about, or you take a moment to remember what it's all about, and the fact that the victims still aren't being taken seriously. The fact that people are already conspiracy land on this. I was watching Erin Burnett of CNN, and she had on not Massey, it was some other Republican representative who had already announced he was prepared to vote to if asked, he'd vote to release the files. And so she was asking him about that, and he immediately was just like, it was a live shot, so it was live, and he was just immediately like, this is a Democratic hoax. There's nothing in there that implicates Donald Trump in any way. And she's just like, all but saying like, what the fuck? Dude, she had this like look. She's like, hold on, like you said, and Trump said any Republican who would vote for this is like a dumb fuck. Are you a dumb fuck? And he's just like, that. See, there's just nothing to this, but I do want whoever's guilty should be prosecuted. It's like, your guy, man. It's your guy. And once I saw that, I think I got disheartened to the point of like, wake me when it's done.
Yeah. No, it took a few hours for kind of the talking points to coalesce and for the marching orders, so to speak, to kind of spread around all of what the messaging was going to be on this. And so we're just going to see downplay after downplay. And I don't know, dude, there's like, I meant to actually look this up on all the shady betting sites. There's a non-zero chance we're going to bomb Venezuela by Saturday anyway. So do you think that'll be it? Do you think that'll be the distraction? Is that the next big distraction? The Nobel Peace Prize Trump will try to absolutely. I mean, so if we've ended 9 wars and we start 2, we're still net positive plus 7 wars.
It's like when you punt.
Ended, right?
Yeah, when you punt and the return, it's a fair catch. Your net goes up.
Right.
It's good to go. It's not a touchback. No. He's not a touchbacking. Yeah, man. I don't mean to be cynical about it. I really don't. Mandalorian Jedi points out that they had 2 survivors with the new representative Grijalva, who finally got sworn in and immediately went to work, and the Dems gave them a standing ovation. Of course they are. Yeah, of course. And I'm not saying that cynically to Mandalorian Jedi. I'm just saying like, yeah, absolutely. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's hard not to be cynical over everything. If we wake up and because even then I play it out, Steve, if we wake up and JD Vance is like, good morning, I'm your president now. I'll take it. Because we're moving down we're cutting off the heads of the snake, but we're not in a better spot.
Right.
We're not.
I thought you were going to say, I thought that was going to be, I don't know why, but when you said JD Vance, I thought that was going to be an Erica Kirk joke somehow. But
they'll be holding hands and they'll be announcing,
Maybe that's how they get maybe that's their in is like they make, anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
We won't go there today. Do you think that's how it's going to happen? That is how it's going to happen. Right? It's the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden there's going to be like a press pool conference that happens in wee early morning hours, and it'll be like it's gonna be like like a turn of the century government coup. Like it's JD Vance and Rubio are gonna be like crawling over each other for a briefcase in order to figure out who's gonna actually run shit. I mean, I don't know.
I think they wheel cankles out in the middle of the night. JD Vance wakes up with his new wife. He goes, effective immediately. This is my new wife, Erica Kirk.
Right.
She will have
and
the leather.
I'm the president.
Yeah, she will have the leather pants on the entire time, and I'm your president. And then a week later, he pardons Trump, and Trump goes off to Mar-a-Lago, and eventually is buried in a golf course next to his ex-wife to save money. So, could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're a former Catholic.
Yes.
What is your? I don't put you on the spot. What do you make of this? I don't want you to speak for the Catholic Church.
I mean,
they have a lot. They have a lot to answer for still.
Yeah.
But I do like Pope Leo enough. Like I'll take a grain of salt.
Yep.
Grain of salt. And there was already a story that I admit I had not had a chance. I just saw it as I went live. That just yesterday, some of these same Catholic bishops of the Catholic Church was like banning gender affirming care. So they're not on the redemption arc's not complete. Let's just say that. But I was fascinated by these Catholic bishops putting out a pretty strong statement that used Bible verses to back it up. It was a pretty strong statement, just kind of coming out strong against what's going on with ICE and our immigration policies and just the way it's being dealt with, handled. As a former Catholic, a win? Should we be suspicious? Where do we go?
Listen, and I think you have to cut a little bit of slack to the 2,000-year-old wealthiest institution in the history of the planet. It takes a long time to institute change at an old boys club like that, if you know what I mean.
They have the Vatican has their own bank, right? And we have there's no records. Like we have no access to what's going on in there.
No, nobody does. No, I think it's at the point where it's kind of like the dead internet theory where like AI is training itself on AI. I think they've like everything about the Vatican's records and everything. We think it's all historical and magical and there's all this like hidden shit down there, but it's really just like the world's worst game of telephone. And so we've just kind of like believe it. And so all the old guys are like too afraid to go in the crypts. So they don't want to go in there because they'll just like roll over and die or something like that. Like, it's a whole weird thing.
I think if you get to the Vatican and you get past all the popes, like his own army and the bank that funded all those like the mafia US led hits and the things in the 70s with that operation that went on, and it's just some dude at like a table with a pen licking it, going, yeah, I'm writing it down. Hold on, I'll be right with you. What do you need? I'm the Catholic Church. Tully, look, I'll say this: if Tully Quinn this is the biggest endorsement ever for the Pope. If Tully, our friend Tully, says Leo is as cool as you can be while still being Catholic, I think that's a big endorsement for Pope Leo.
That's a hell of an look. Pope Leo is a radical left wokest pope, as obviously as we've seen from what the administration has referred to him. He's a White Sox fan, so we know this guy is like actually suffering as it is.
That's commitment. That's commitment.
Yeah. Well, he's a godly man. Like if he's stuck with it for this long. I mean, anyway, but the I think the fact that they at least said something. I mean, that's literally like the literal least they could do at this point, aside from like trying to heal the centuries of pain they've caused on the people who put so much literal faith into them. They could at least put out press releases saying like, hey, you're the most powerful country in the world, and you all also on one side are trying to preach all this godliness and all this hypocritical righteousness. This Jesus guy was kind of all about feeding the poor and the hungry and neighbor and all that stuff. So,
sorry. One of the things I do like, I'm trying to scroll through this message as quick as I can, but it touches on the, because the thing we all hear is the, they're illegal, right? And it touches on the, hey, why don't you work to provide people a good system, a legal system, it's not even dressed in like ICE pulling people out of their, follow-up meetings at the immigration office. But I like that too, because that's one of the things I've heard more than anything from people in my life on the other side of this, of like, well, it wouldn't happen if they were doing it the right way. Like, well, there's no functional right way, and I do like at least the church, the Catholic Church addressed that as well.
Yeah, no, it's that conversation can go on so long, but it really comes down to, again, this is the class thing. It's a lot easier for people to immigrate into America if they have the financial resources to do so. And I think a lot of people would tell you that your ability to have, I don't know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness shouldn't be predicated on your ability to create capital.
Absolutely. We recognize that nations have responsibility to regulate their borders and establish a just and orderly immigration system for the sake of the common good. Without such processes, immigrants face the risk of trafficking and other forms of exploitation. Safe and legal pathways serves as an antidote to such risks. Basically saying, yeah, why don't you work on that, sport?
I thought you were doing the intro to Law and Order.
There you go. All right. Asked and answered on that, Steve. Thank you. I do want to talk a little bit of sports. I got a super chat and answer here from Malcolm. We'll take some calls to close the show. If you want to call into the show, become a YouTube channel member, get on in here, or a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/catnapzok. And next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'll be watching Young Guns 2, and you can watch along with me, exclusive on Patreon and top tiers. I'm going to set it up. You'll be able to join the stream with me. Everyone else, though, will be able to watch in full. So a little bit of sports going on. We'll do some NFL picks, but it's crazy to me that we have two pitchers, right? It's two pitchers now?
Yes, at least two. Yeah, and
at least two.
Someone just Luis Ortiz just pleaded not guilty.
Okay.
Careful.
But two names, and what's his name? Cleveland players, right?
Yep, Emmanuel Clace and Luis Ortiz. Accused
of, pretty credibly, I would say, but I'm not a legal expert here, I'm not a lawyer, of like fixing, not so much games, but fixing like prop bets, which is fixing games. And we have the other stuff going, but the other stuff going, like being a celebrity at a fixed poker game is not great. I'm not saying that's good, but it's not. There was some stuff, but it's not a coach. It's not Pete Rose, which is even more complicated. Let's not bring up that AM radio sports talk thing now. Trump wants him in the hole. But you got a player like intentionally throwing balls to avoid throwing strikes so that his friends can win bets. It's insane to me that this is just so quiet.
It wasn't even, and so you're exactly right. It's so to people who are not familiar with what the actual thing is. Yes, two players are for now. They've alluded to more being involved, but two players have been charged or uncovered in this, and they are alleging that they are throwing pitches like for just prop bets, like you said. But in the one case with Ortiz, they said like the dude was got off the phone with the with the bookie. Yeah. Like in the dugout, and then went out onto the mound and started throwing pitches. So yes, so they were throwing certain numbers of balls and strikes so that people could, bet, Ken, I think you're going to throw 15 balls in 2 innings or whatever. And so, he would make sure that you only throw 14, or even the speed of pitches. They were telling people to bet the under on speeds or bet the over on speeds of different pitches. And he would go out there. And so like, you're literally taking gas off the ball. That screws with the competitiveness of the game. Yeah, it's crazy that it's not being talked about more.
And we have, I mean, this betting, it's obviously in the news, and we got people in the media, sports media world talking about it for sure. But I know there's too much else going on in the world, too many things that I would deem more important. I get it. If this was 1989, well, the Pete Rose thing, if it was a little bit later, 1995, I think this would be all over Newsweek and People and USA Today. It's now a corner, but one of the interesting, and we joke, we're going to do NFL picks in a second. I think putting down some bets and stuff, I think is in and of itself relatively harmless. We joke, but you've got a gambling problem, call somebody. But I can live with both things in this world. I truly can. Yeah. But to hear you got baseball players, I forget the guy's name. I apologize. I should have brought up. And I know you had the Padre manager who recently quit, but he might have had some other problems. So there was like a baseball player saying, "Yeah, I've gotten like death threats of people saying, 'Hey, you cost me my house because I bet on you and you've struck out, and that's increasing. That's not bizarre, but it's troubling. It's troubling because of what people will do.
Yeah. It's been so normalized, not from just a legal standpoint, but from a cultural standpoint. I mean, we joked before, like it used to be a thing with all the old broadcasters like Al Michaels and Musburger, like alluding to a field goal at the end of the game impacting the betting line, but like they couldn't actually talk about it because it was so faux pas to like actually acknowledge sports betting on broadcasting. And now the broadcast is brought to you by FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, MGM, all of it, right? And the advertising's everywhere. And again, right, look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I enjoy sports betting. But just like other voices like alcohol or drugs or whatever, like, yes, you have to understand that you're taking chances. You're doing things that aren't necessarily great for either your mental or physical health. And you do everything in moderation and know what your limits are. So yeah, of course. But I think the normalization of it has definitely put more pressure on players. I feel bad for young athletes now, especially. Like imagine being a high school or college kid who, now has all this pressure. Now, if you're in college, how accessible that is. Like you like the way they have it set up is you can't, if I'm in Virginia, I can't bet on a Virginia college using like the FanDuel app or the DraftKings app and stuff like that.
Sounds like you tried. Yeah.
It's crazy how I can't imagine the pressure that those kids are dealing with and all the different scenarios like that.
Just wait till the betting reaches Little League.
I mean, Ken, you're talking to someone who bet on marbles during COVID. If you don't think when my kid is out there playing T-ball that I'm going to elbow the dad next to me and be like, hey, $10 says little Timmy misses his next swing. Absolutely.
We're watching you. We're watching. Narcolepsy asks, can you use FanDuel in the Vatican? Yeah, I'm putting some money down on who the next pope is. And we did do the odds. Anyways, and ESPN ended one of their arrangements with a betting company?
Yeah, so this happened last week. This was a pretty big deal. ESPN had deals with FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever, leading up, like when all those got really popular. And then they had their own their own offshoot of a betting service called ESPN Bet, which they spent tens of millions of dollars on for all sorts of stuff, for both the infrastructure, the marketing. That's all every ESPN commercial was for the last 6 months, was Mike Greenberg and Stephen A. Smith making dumb betting jokes. And it failed to get any kind of market share. The report I read said that their partners promised, I think it was with Penn, like the big financial conglomerate, they promised 20% of the sports gambling, for legal sports gambling market. And I think they were on track for like 3 or 5%. And so ESPN was like, this is dead weight. So they sold it. We're back to I don't know if we're back because I don't know how much of it really had a hold on it, but FanDuel and DraftKings really have a duopoly, as they say, on that whole market right now.
It is interesting. And we'll see. Teams in Vegas. I never thought I'd see the day with big teams in Vegas. We always had the minor leagues though.
They're going to get more. They're going to get more teams in Vegas. Don't be surprised. I mean, if the NBA expands, they'll put a team in Vegas.
That's right. They don't have them.
See if the A's actually end up.
WNBA.
Yeah, because the Aces are huge, or such a successful WNBA franchise. They're desperate to get an NBA team there. Sure.
Makes sense. All right. What else is going on with sports? Or should we go to our own betting with our Week 11 picks? Let's do it.
Let's talk picks, dude. Let's do it.
All right. I wasn't. We talked a little bit of my record. It was 2-3 last week.
2-3 last week. Yep. You are 26-24 on the season, I believe, if my math is still correct.
That's correct.
So that we're making money as we talk about gambling. If you are gambling with Ken on the season and going with all of his picks, you are still in the green.
Not a sponsor.
There's
no conflict of interest. Not a sponsor.
Even though I do tend to mirror these picks on my own, and so I have some emotional interest. But of course, one of the weeks I didn't do it was the week you went 5-0. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. All right. What do we got?
Let's do it. 5 picks. We'll do your Dolphins last. The first game is Bucks at Bills. The Bills are a 5.5-point favorite at home.
Bills are pissed. You're welcome. You're welcome, Buffalo. You're welcome. The Bills are pissed. I took the Bucks last week to let me down. The Patriots is a different story. I do like Baker Mayfield. I do like the Bucks, but the Bucks going up to Buffalo might be a little cold. And look, You know, Josh Allen went home that night after he got home from Miami, and Haley Steinfeld was like, "You get back out there and you win. You win." She went to like True Grit. She went to like her True Grit character, and she was like, "You get back out and win." Josh Allen's got to win. The Bills going. They're too good. They're too good. My Dolphins are great though. Bills are gonna win.
All right, Bills at home, 5.5, taking the Bills. All right, game number 2. A lot of really good games this weekend. Last week was kind of This weekend is great matchups, including that Bucs-Bills game. Game number 2 is Seahawks at Rams. Rams are a 3-point favorite at home.
Let me feel it out here. Let me do I'm football raking right now. Seahawks, Darnold, he's looking good, but I don't know. The Seahawks, do they travel well? It's in SoFi. Is it SoFi? You said it's in LA.
Yeah,
a lot of people are going to be having those
advantage. That's not a home field.
Yeah, it's not. It's a great concert venue, except for it sucks with the sound. But it does have that like 12-foot cheeseburger. It does have that cheeseburger deli sandwich thing they got. I'm going Rams at home. I like where the Rams are. I'm going Rams at home.
Okay. Giving the 12-foot cheeseburger and the Rams at home.
I did just also beat the Rams in the Super Bowl in 2033 over lunch today, so they might be upset.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna have you on the Blathering Gaming channel so we can review you about your with the Dolphins.
Pick 3.
Game number 3: Chiefs at Broncos. Broncos are a 3.5-point underdog.
Going in Mile High. The Chiefs aren't as this has been a struggling year for them, huh? They're a little back-footed.
A little back-footed, but they're on the uptick. I mean, they lost that game to the Bills a couple weeks ago, but the Chiefs are kind of back to 100% from, roster health and all that kind of standpoint. I mean, they're not any younger, but they've got Mahomes has his weapons back, so the offense is looking better.
I'm going to go Kansas City. Is Pacheco back? He's on my what does it matter? My team sucks. Yeah, Broncos I know the Broncos have been surprising folks. Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Don't know if I love that name. It's not a complete name.
It's a better baseball name. We've talked about it.
It's a better baseball name. Bo Nixon, maybe be a quarterback. Yeah, that's that Bo. Bo's too short of a name if you're not Jackson. Okay. His last name, Nix is the problem. If it was Bo Nicholson, like something like that, it's too short of a name. Bo Nix. All right.
Or he needs a second syllable on the first name, like Stevie Nicks sounds complete.
Yes.
But he needs like Bodie Nix.
Bodie Nix
sounds
might be good.
Quarterback for the Chargers in the 70s that just slinged bombs, had more interceptions than touchdowns, but also had more girlfriends.
Bodie Nix, they called him the Golden Surfer. He'd surf on game days. He'd get up early and go surf down there in Oceanside and come out to Jack Murphy. Okay. Laserbolt says Bo Nix is the shortest NFL name in history, only 5 letters. That's crazy. All right.
It's wild.
Pick number 4.
Speaking of Laserbolt, the Detroit Lions will be visiting the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite at home.
Look, we got a little bit of problems in Detroit, right? We got some play calling duties being taken over by the coach, right?
Yeah, Dan Campbell will be calling the defense.
Calling the defense there. I think the Lions are doing that dip.
Sorry. Yeah.
The Lions are doing that dip. Washington has dipped, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I still believe in Detroit.
You gotta stop punching people.
The big question is, AJ Brown on my fantasy team announced today that if I'm on your fantasy team, cut me, trade me,
trade him. Yeah,
that's why I'm winless this season. I'm 0-10. I'm going Eagles. Sorry, Romo. Sorry, Laserbolt. Eagles.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate the support. I sure hope you're right, because I don't understand why the Eagles don't give AJ Brown the ball more. But yeah, usually by the way, way to tank your trade value. Like as soon as you tell people, hey, trade me in fantasy, guess what? Everyone who's trying to anyone who trades gonna feel like a sucker. Like
what am I gonna do? JMB, we did a trade today. It was essentially a dump deal. Because I'm so out of it. He traded me Garrett Wilson, who's hurt, for Marvin Harrison, who's hurt, but Harrison might come back sooner. I could have done AJ Brown. He's playing and he's less productive than Marvin Harrison on the bench.
Well, we'll see. Or maybe, hey, 2 weeks ago he had 3 weeks ago he had 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
he did.
Maybe
And I
Maybe everything will be good. Be good in Philadelphia. Everything will be sunny in Philadelphia, as they say. Last game. And speaking of sunny, in sunny Spain, the Washington Commanders will play your Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins can't figure this out in the United States of America, but for whatever reason, when they travel all the way to Europe, they are favored by 2.5 points, baby.
I'm telling you, look. And Mark Ellis and I have set our alarms. We're not going to wake up together, but we're going to wake up at the same time. We're about 6:30 my time. I'm getting up to watch that game in bed. I'm riding a little high. Last week was the greatest moment for me as a Dolphin fan in the last 3 years. So you got to let me have it. Well, that Denver game, but I wasn't watching as close. That Denver game was the one in which Mark Ellis was like, you should probably start watching your team now.
Right.
And then the pain set in, and he was like, I'm sorry for suggesting that. Last week was our Super Bowl. No, we're riding high, man. And I believe we're going to get to 7-7. I still think we might finish 8-9, but I think we're going to get to 500. And Mike McDaniel, I actually think 44% chance he's the coach next year. And I hope he keeps driving by bars of other teams in Miami and making fun of the players. That made me, for those that don't know, Mike McDaniel, the Miami Dolphin head coach, after the big win over Buffalo, got into his very fancy car and drove past a bar in Miami near his house, apparently, that is a Buffalo Bills bar. And he jawed with fans and rubbed it in. And I enjoy that kind of pettiness, at least from my head coach. I'm going Dolphins, buddy. Dolphins with the big.
Oh my gosh, it's okay. I'm glad. So I'm glad that you're going with your team as you deserve to. Let's just show this real quick because this is exactly what you're talking about with your boy here, Mike McDaniel. Driving by, that's Mike McDaniel and his matted out black. I think it's a Bentley with this Bills dude right in the front. This is at the Elbow Room, which is a famous Bills bar in downtown Miami. He's just driving by with his arm out the window. That watch probably costs as much as the car.
Oh, that whole car is worth more than my life the last 25 years. More than my life. And it was this guy. Did this guy post it? Some fan posted it. Hey, I just was talking with the coach or something like that.
Yeah, this was just a still, but there was an act. I didn't remember how much of it is, but there was an actual video of someone had a video of him just driving by, and then they asked him on the in the press conference. They were like, "So were you?"
Yeah, Omar Kelly.
He wouldn't say whether or not he was actually. He was like, "So I did drive near where my house is, and I do have that car. That does look like me."
You know what I love? This is why I hope I've firmly come down on. I hope Mike McDaniel keeps his job. A couple weeks ago, I was ready to get rid of him. I am not now. Mike famously, he's like I am now. He stumbles a little bit. He doesn't the great public speaker. He's got a lot of he talks into his shirt a little bit. Omar Kelly asked him that question, and Mike McDaniel suddenly is as clear as day. It's just I do live in the area. AI is real. But was it you? I do live in the area, and AI is real. And I just loved everything about it. I loved everything about it.
That was too good.
He won me over.
I think, look, if they were going to get rid of him at this point, I feel like they would have, because you got to think this team's hit rock bottom. You got to be on the way up for at least for the season, right? So I think, I think you guys have. I think he's got a real chance. I think the owner likes him. So
I think the owner likes him. I think the owner may have come to the agreement or the thought that the same general manager for the last 10 years is the one recurring issue. We'll see. And McDaniel just doesn't have a lot. He doesn't have a lot of the pieces, and he's using what he has. So, all right. Thanks for that. So that's my picks: Bills, Rams, Kansas City, Eagles, and the Dolphins. We'll see where it goes with that. I got one super chat. Then we got a call from Cal, and then we're going to get on out of here. First of all, shout out to 8984M Brady for the blankets so I can keep warm. Thank you for the super chat. Helps keep the show going. And Brady, thanks for your question on the Blathering mailbag. Released that early this morning. If you haven't had a chance out there, watch the episode on the YouTube channel. I want to keep doing these, so help spread the word, hype the video, do all those good things. Even if you hated it, just do that. Malcolm, thank you as always for the generous super chat. Says, hey, Ken, hope you're all right. I had to take the dog to the vet today, and I'm still emotionally shocked from what happened on my credit card. Watching Magnolia recently, struck by its use of Amy Mann on the soundtrack. What are some musical moments, needle drops in films that have resonated with you? Oh, man. God bless it. Anything from that era. I'm a big fan of Amy Mann, big fan of Magnolia. But, I mean, Gross Point Blank and High Fidelity are just needle drops after needle drops that kind of changed my life. Almost Famous had some as well. And I'll say this. I'm a big fan of The Verve. The ending of Cruel Intentions with Bittersweet Symphony is absolutely a needle drop. And yes, Steve, I'm only naming movies from 1997 to 2001 because that's where my memory goes.
You took mine. Cruel Intentions would have been where I went. That was one of those movies that turned a boy into a man for me.
And Elizabeth says Tequila's and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I love that. Alan Smithy says, what was the one modern song that was in Game of Thrones after the cutting of the hand scene? Oh, it's Jamie. That wasn't the Bear of the Maiden Fair, right? But the Hold Steady. There's some great bands and stuff.
Oh yeah, where they rock band fight it kind of. Yeah.
The Bear, the Maiden Fair. And then I gotta say, Tarantino's got a lot. I think he's great in that regard. David Bowie. God, I'm drawing a blank on the song. But burning down. You know the one. You know the one song. We're burning down fire with gasoline. No, okay. That one.
I got you. I follow.
Cat People? Is it Cat People?
Cat People.
Yeah, that's what Cat People, Putting Out Fire, David Bowie. Whew, my brain just had a complete senior moment. Complete senior moment. I love that there. A great question, Malcolm. I'll probably have to think about that one even more. That could be an entire episode of Blathering Ranked. We don't do that though. All right, are you ready for this? Let's end the show in the right way possible. We got our buddy. He hasn't called in a while here. Kingsport Cal is on the show, checking in from East Tennessee. How's the weather there, Cal?
Well, right now it's around 40. No, it's at 37 degrees. 37 degrees here in East Tennessee. Beautiful.
It sounds like a storm is in your apartment right now, or in your house. You don't live in an apartment. I live in a house too. Should live in an apartment. It'd be cheaper. Steve, just let me blather. Cal, what is on your mind? What is on your mind, Cal?
Well, I will tell you, High Fidelity is one of the great soundtracks. But Gross Point Blank has a song by The Beat called "Mirror in the Bathroom."
Mirror in the Bathroom.
Yes, and I love that scene in that film.
It's the fight scene, right?
Yes. It's during the fight scene at the school, at the graduation, at the reunion.
Yeah. Steve, how many times have you watched Gross Point Blank?
0. I have not seen it. But Cal sounds like he is delivering Morse code messages in a World War I trench.
He does.
Like I'm waiting for like the buzz at the end to be like,
yep.
Alert, like gas incoming.
Big gun on a train moving towards your location.
Well, I don't have the best microphone in the world. I am trying to.
The problem, Cal, you're not picking on you, by the way. Don't get defensive.
No,
don't get defensive.
Not at all.
Don't get defensive. What's amazing to me is it's not the quality of the mic. It's that it changes almost every call with you. It's actually impressive. Like I want to bet on your phone, your microphone.
I think it's the microphone I'm working on. I've been looking into some microphones on Amazon, probably trying to get something different, see if that helps. I don't know. I do notice because I do listen to the playback of myself to see how the microphone reacts because I can't obviously tell while I'm talking to you. But
I'm not. You look, man.
No, I did not mean to pick on you. I did not mean to pick on you.
Cal's getting very defensive of his microphone, and I don't want Cal. I'm only pointing it out because one, trying to figure out what's going on. 2, I think it's part of your charm.
Anyway, other than that, my microphone problems. Kid, I want you to acknowledge my Christmas sweater. Anyway,
I see your Christmas sweater. I'm not going to bring you up on camera because I'm afraid.
I'll just say it.
It's a Star Wars one, right?
Yes, it is. It's Vader himself, all blacked out.
You know, perfect.
Sweater and everything.
perfect for the holiday season. Yeah, absolutely. Darth
Yes,
Vader.
yes.
He and
Well-
Christmas Anonymous.
Well, here's the thing, kid. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I've
Mhm.
heard rumors from highly reputable people who have inroads or in the know in what's going on here in Kingsport. We are apparently getting a 7-Eleven in Kingsport. Now, I've never been to a 7-Eleven in my life. And I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
what can I expect when this 7-Eleven eventually, they're projecting 2 years, eventually reaches Kingsport?
2 years. 2 years. You put some shelves up in an empty spot.
2 years to build a
what are we doing?
7-Eleven?
What are we doing here?
That's what I've heard. Like I said, I don't. This is secondhand information.
Some zoning problems out there?
I don't know.
I'm not asking you to answer like your microphone. I'm just wondering. Look, here's what you're going to find. You're going to find the best coffee in the business. All right. And we all should be boycotting Starbucks right now. So go get yourself some 7-Eleven blueberry coffee, mix in some French vanilla. Everyone's going to talk about the pizza and the wings and the rollers. Cal, you don't need that. If you want to try that, that's fine. Leave that to professionals like me. Leave those to the ultimate depressed people like me. But you got prepackaged sandwiches, you got breakfast sandwiches, you got breakfast tacos you can get in microwave right there, Cal. You who often have feuds with shopkeeps over their breakfast sandwich policies, you're the king of the castle there. They're wrapped, you grab them, end of story. You should have breakfast there.
Now wait a minute. Now here's the thing. Do they have chicken? Does 7-Eleven have their own type of chicken deal?
They have chicken wings. What are you looking for some of them. All right. Some 7-Elevens have a little little hot stand with maybe some chicken on it, like a chicken wing or something.
All right.
Are you looking for that? You looking for like a chicken, or are you looking for like a chicken sandwich?
Yeah, well, I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see if I can go in there and get a breast, a thigh, a leg. You know what I'm saying? I would take his chicken sandwich. I do
know what you're saying. I'm trying to think. I think and I could be confusing it with Ralph's, the grocery store, to be honest. But some 7-Elevens I think have little hot stands, but mine doesn't. Where I go to, they have all the taquitos and the pizzas, and then they got a thing for donuts, and they got all the fresh sandwiches in the back and all that kind of stuff, and then the buzz balls. Then you make a right, and then the buzz balls are back there.
Whoa. You can't sell liquor at a convenience store. Well, at least not in this state.
They don't count as liquor. They don't count it because in Virginia has the same rule, Cal, but they don't count them as liquor. It's wine.
Oh,
yeah. 7-Eleven doesn't, to my knowledge, even the one here doesn't have. I don't get my rum from there. It's just beer.
They can do airplane bottles in very small amounts, at least in Virginia.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, Steve, because in Tennessee, I've never seen buzzballs or any type of liquor sold in the convenience.
Where do you get them? Where do you get them? A liquor store?
Yeah, the liquor store, designated liquor stores. The county.
Organized religion has caused a lot of damage, and I love God, but it's caused a lot of damage where you can't even get a buzzball at a gas station in your state.
No, well, actually, Ken, in my county that I live in, it used to be a dry county. It was only turned into where you can have liquor by the drink about 5-6 years ago. I can't actually remember.
God bless. Yeah. All I'll say is God bless California and our drinking problem. Okay, that's all I'll say. Well, I'll never forget being in the Atlanta airport and saying, "Can I have a rum and diet?" And the lady looks at me like, "It's a Sunday."
Affect us here too.
I'm not going to church. God's not here at the seat with me. Give me a. Okay.
Well, you're in an airport. That's not really being in Georgia. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're in the airport, you're kind of in this neutral zone.
That's right. It should be so. Yeah. What if I'm French? You're going to deny a Frenchman his alcoholic beverage on a Sunday? Oh my.
Sunday morning.
Oh my God. Cal, I think you're going to have a lot of fun at 7-Eleven.
Well, I do look forward to the sandwiches because over 7-Eleven sandwiches, so I am looking forward to that.
Okay.
But,
all right. This was a good call. I'm going to let you go because I don't know what's going on with your microphone, but we can barely hear you. You're gonna go back and listen. But Cal, I want you to understand something. Steve, help me convince Cal of this. You're not the problem. Your microphone's not even the problem. There's just a little tech glitch. But Cal, you're the heart and soul of this show. Do you believe me when I say that?
No, I do not.
That's probably 898 for him asked, do they have ramen? Yes. Wait, hold on. Brady, you live in Southern California. You could find 9 7-Elevens with walking distance of whatever bus you're on right now. Go to a 7-Eleven. Cal, we love you.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right, Cal. Enjoy your sweater. Your sweater's great. All right, we're getting out of here. I'm going to go make dinner. I'm going to watch some football. Fun show. Thank you all. Silly Saturdays. We are going to play. I got another round of Ooh, I know this. I don't think I'm going to drink because I might have to leave after. Man, Saturday was a problem. I do kind of blame. Yeah, I blame you, Steve, for egging me on with your own buzzball. Now, you didn't egg me on to make 2 ramen diets in my own house.
Right.
Or text ex-girlfriends. That wasn't you that made me do that. But Saturday was bad. So it might be a drier, silly Saturday. I might have maybe some of this alcoholic eggnog I got today. But got that. And questions, advice on Monday, too. Let's do that. All right, everybody. Sounds good? Sounds good? I think that's good. There we go. Steve, everyone wants to know when you're watching Lord of the Rings again on Blathering Gaming.
Tomorrow or Saturday, I'll have an update for you either late tonight on the Discord or look for posts tomorrow, but tomorrow or Saturday.
Love it.
Tomorrow or Saturday.
Love it. Don't forget the Patreon page. You too can watch the Young Guns 2 motion picture with me. Coming soon Wednesday, November 19th, 5 p.m. in the Pacific. Come hang out with me on patreon.com/Napzok. Exclusive over there. That's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.